Hi and welcome to Harris & Sons Auctions. This is a walkthrough video for our Spring Spectacular auction. And we have a lot of great items to show you, a lot of really good listed artists, a lot of paintings. We have a great collection of Northwest native artifacts, carvings. We have a great collection of nautical items mixed in with our usual, the odd toy, some clocks, some watches, some china and glass, that sort of thing. We've got a great deal to show you, and we're going to do that in just a minute, but I'd like to bring your attention to this magnificent Northwest Coast native carving, beautifully carved in white cedar with abalone insets in it. We're going to give you a closer look at that later on in the video, but just one of the many great native pieces that we have in this sale. We also have on either side of me two very important chairs, important to this part of Nova Scotia. So right in the Granville Center, Annapolis, between Annapolis, Royal and Bridgetown. And these were made by a J. Fellows. So we have a beautiful armchair here, both matching chairs, and they are branded in the bottom, J. Fellows. That's upside down, but you can see it online. Just superb early Windsor chairs. He was one of the first chair makers in the area. Baptist minister, and this one's kind of interesting too. You can see where the front posts have actually worked their way right up through the chair seat over years of use. But a match set, this one's also stamped, but a very important, very early maker for this part of Nova Scotia, working in around 1830 and earlier. So only ones we've ever had. Interesting to see, but we have a lot of other great things to show you, so come along and we'll have a look. Okay, a few of these things from here down to here are in the auction. I'm just going to bring a couple up closer to show you. I'm only in the picture so you can get an idea of size. We have these two art glass vases by Robert Stanley, both signed pieces. We have a pair of hand-colored etchings by Cecil Day in matching frames. We have an early copy, I'm not sure, may even be a first edition, I can't remember, Picturesque Canada, so it's the 2-volume set. We have this fantastic collector case here. It would have had a door originally because you can see a little latch where it had a lock, so all those doors could have been behind a lock. But you have various sizes, they all have a nice green felt inside. For a coin collection, you know, a specific stamp collection, anything small, because some of these are shallow, so you have maybe 1/4 of an inch depth, but perfect for rare coins, silver coins, that sort of thing. And then you do have some that get larger down here, so you know, you're 3/4 of an inch right down to this, you're probably 1 1/4 inch. Just a beautiful quarter sawn oak. We've got some nice early paintings here, which are going to show up much better online, so please have a look at the catalog. You've got these really nice set of these early hinges. Look at the great forged detail there. And we have a couple of branding irons. We don't see a lot of those here, but every once in a while we'll get some. Interesting collectible there. And last, well, not quite last yet, we have a beautiful basket and great color, great picnic basket, Mi'kmaq made, all splint, beautiful thing. And what do we have up here? Now this was a local piece found in the valley here, this little trumpeting whirligig, some nice remnants of old paint on there, carved wood, little deterioration at the end of the horn there, but just a great decorator piece now. A nice little Kentville, early Kentville merchant crock. Don't see a lot of these either. A few little chips around the syrup jug lid here, but all in all, nice shape, nice glaze. I have a small John Neville etching. This one, I don't know who that is. Unfortunately, there's just not enough there for me to go on, but a beautiful design, nice glaze. Looks to be Southwest native. This is John Olette from Cape Breton. An art potter there with the faces on this jug. And the other one up here, I have no idea. Really well done, has a lid, beautifully made. And last but not least in this section are these folk art pieces by John Gould. John Gould's an American artist, and he made these out of railway spikes. So they're bookends of two passing trains here. But have a look, research him, John Gould. Beautifully done, great paint on them, and very well collected artist down there. Let's go see some more. A quick shot for scale, so you can see the size of some of these paintings, and then I'm going to draw you in closer for a better view. And these as well. I don't know if you can see that one down there, but let's have a closer look. First off, I'd like to show you this Clooney Mahar. Now, this one does not photograph well. I wasn't happy with the photographs that we got online. This is the best Clooney Mahar I've ever had. It's a good size, but it has this beautiful, moody, misty sort of a presence to it that just doesn't get captured on the photographs. I'm hoping it shows up here, and it's quite a large one, so larger than most that we see. I'll just go above for a second and show you this nice folk art piece here. Little watercolor, little ship watercolor. We have a lot of nice folky ship paintings in this sale. We have this one by Cape Breton artist. Sorry for the glare, I'll try and get in front of it. William Rogers. Really nice watercolor there. We have a small one hiding back in there by Glenn Urquhart, another Nova Scotia artist. And I'm sure most of you have heard of Roger Savage. And this is quite a large watercolor he has. Sorry, it's on a bit of an angle. Now we do have this Dr. Young, physician and surgeon, and this is an old sign, double-sided, quite thick. The old hangers on top there. This side, sorry, there's some stuff in the way. Not quite as strong as the other side. Obviously got the more weathering on it. Neat old sign, and a neat old Buddy L Texaco pressed steel truck. And that one's, I'm happy to say, has not been repainted. So it's been played with, but that's the original paint. Still good on the back as well. This one I really like. This is an Alan Franks, Nova Scotia artist. Just beautifully done. Really nice piece, signed. And one of the bigger folk art, older ship paintings we have. I believe this one was found in PEI. And it says Pride of the West down below. And while I'm standing here, I might as well show you this long case clock. John Box. Again, that one window causes me a lot of glare issues. It has had some woodworm, and this is warped. My assumption is that this was originally a veneered case, and this is the pine underneath, but because of that, it gives it a great country look. A really pretty dial. I'm sorry for the glare again. I can't seem to get my arm in front of it to cover it. But and it has the date, which is scarce to find on these early ones. All right, let's give you a better view of this magnificent piece here. And this is a sea serpent that's known in their legends. I won't even attempt to pronunciate it, but you can find the names online. And this is a Inuit stencil print, and we couldn't make that one out, who it was. I'll just give you another quick look at the seats and the beautiful color and finish on these Windsors. But and I should mention that he is early, 1815, something like that, 1830 period. I am looking for any that are stamped John Wade, because my house is John Wade's house, and he owned the first turning lathe in Nova Scotia and was a chair maker, but I've yet to ever find one. There's a neat mid-century piece signed by Nan Pierce. I'm not familiar with them, but a real 60s, 70s look there. A lot of texture on that one. Here's the Raven and the Sun, another fabulous West Coast native piece. And here just because I'm here. I might not be able to get this to focus because of the light behind it. Snyder's shipbuilding sign, carved out of mahogany, really nicely done. And this huge, heavy fishing jig mold, quite a big one. Some Civil War artifacts in a little case. Manual of Military Law that was owned by Corporal C.J. Can. Bowie knife book. A large Ken Tolmie watercolor. And this one again, the detail in here is gorgeous when you get in close to it. And it's a good size piece. Again, all the measurements are online. I give you the measurements of sight, which is the actual image you see, and then of the overall size with the frame. So that includes the matting in the frame. But the sight, if you ever see the name sight before a measurement, that means just the part you can see. A couple nice little signs here. Lunenburg Rugs and Regina Watch Company, that's a lot. An early photograph, a ship in Parsboro. Full history on the back of that one, which is interesting. I had to bring in the light here to try and overpower the windows. I want to show you this lectern, our library dictionary stand, but first I'll show you this Acadia tea advertising tray. And this image you'll find with a lot of different advertisers on it. It was a very common image to use, but this one's interesting because it's Acadia Tea, which I assume is a local company, and it's everywhere. It's on every cup. They have the advertising, so they just put in whatever advertising they needed. Nice early tray there, advertising piece. But this is a scarce piece made in New York City. It's all cast iron and oak. And the back has these little tabs that you pinch, and it goes up like so. So it would hold a Bible or dictionary or whatever. And if I can just loosen this off, so it'll turn freely. It's fully adjustable, but these are the tabs, and it just locks into place, and flip it up like so. So it's fully adjustable, and it also adjusts the angle. So you can have it flat like that, or you could have it tilted up, and then you just lock it into the various gear teeth. Down here I'm assuming is 4 books that they would keep on here. Now this will swivel as well, and the whole thing will adjust in height, and it's on 4 little wheels. Just a really neat piece that would be in the local libraries back then. Great for display if you're a book collector or anything like that. Just a really neat piece. Only one we've ever had. Now this is probably the king of the sale right here. And this is just a spectacular native mask carved by Bill Henderson. Very well known Northwest Coast native. Signed in here. All hand done, beautifully painted. This is a beaver and a sea urchin on his head here. In spectacular condition, a great size. His works sell in the $8,000 to $10,000 range. We're so happy to have that. It's just got such a dramatic look for any gallery or art collector or native collector. It could fit in old log home as well as it could fit in a New York loft apartment. It's just a spectacular piece of art in superb condition. Now the gentleman that we got all of these West Coast native pieces off, he was actually a band administrator for the people out there, and he got in close with them over years of working with them, and they gifted him certain things and he bought certain things, and all of this came as that collection. Now this one is a model of a Hoke Hoke mask, beautifully done, great colors, great form. What I find interesting is the actual full-size ones that they would wear in the potlatch, they couldn't see out of these masks at all. So there was other people around them that handled these rattles. And that's a rattle. And what they did was in the dance, they would make that noise and it would direct the one that's wearing this mask who couldn't see where he was going. So just really, really neat pieces to have. Spectacular color. They're just set off in an entire room because they're just such a great look. Very unique to the Northwest Coast native. There's nothing else that looks like that. I even have a small little carved rattle here. Another neat little piece. And we'll move along. Okay. Now I want to make sure you see this paddle. Again, Northwest Coast native. This is John Henderson, who is Bill Henderson's brother, did this paddle. Just beautiful carvings on these. And it has on the back here, carved by John P. Henderson, and that's an eagle design. Beautiful piece. And I might as well show you this one while I'm here too. This one's the earliest of the bunch. This one I believe is dated 1975. Yes, it is. The Loon by Don McCleley. I can't pronounce that properly, but just again, a beautiful piece. Hard to photograph this one because you want to look at the top, but you want to see the sides. All the chip carving throughout it, you can see just where all the work's been done. Great piece for a table. And we have some firearms. This one sort of a Martini Henry design, but with all Arabic scrolling on it. So this was retired from the British and moved over there, and that's why you see this brass decorated plates with all the various design work by them. Now this is considered antique status, so anybody can buy this, hang it on the wall. Now we have the old flintlock Brown Bess here, a tower with a 1742 lock plate. This one's a bit confusing. We've looked over this, or I've looked over this quite a bit, and I see old and reproduction stuff going on here. So the barrel is definitely old, the stock is old, has some carving in it, although it's been refinished. And at the time of refinishing certain things, this would be old, the butt plate's old. The side plate, I'm not 100% on. The trigger guard's old and original. And these little ferrules here for the ramrod, they just have a look that doesn't convince me that they're the originals. They look like a deliberately aged reproduction. But either way, it is a flintlock action, and I'm not sure about the plate in there. It could have been redone when they redid the gun. I'm not sure. But a great looking thing. You can hang it over the fireplace. Again, no license necessary for that one. And this old Snyder is the same thing. This is a percussion cap. Very, very strong action on that one. So that one, it is missing its little cap plate, which would have brought the percussion caps up. A little swing door on there. But again, antique status. So they can be used for decoration. We do have some guns in the sale that you do need licenses for, which are called non-restricted. So if you think you need a license, you would know if you have your license or not. So, but we cannot send them, the other ones, to the States. So it'll say shipping in Canada only. One last little thing on this side, on the marble base, we have a signed Pucha bronze. Great little family of bears there. Really well done. We've had some work by him before. Sold in some of our older auctions. And I'm going to move us down that way. Before I move us down, I'll just show you a few other things here. This is a fish bonker, and it's basically a stone inside there, and this is all done with cedar bark. Quite structurally strong the way they weave it like that. And this actually was the hat that was made for the gentleman that I was telling you of earlier to wear at the potlatch. And that was his own one that they made special for him. This is an interesting thing. That's one of the little rubber feet, because the rubber's gone all hard now and it came off. But this is a little miniature butcher's block. You can see the foot where it came off there, the nail's still there. And it's got a little knife holder in it. And it's just a heavy little, I don't want to call it a salesman sample, but it's along that line certainly. So we'll just call it a miniature at this point. And of course there's this whole book full of Digby postcards, and there's a lot in here. So if you're a collector of early Digby postcards, let me just get a hand on there. It's kind of difficult with one hand. But it's mostly full, and there's lots of good early images of Digby. A couple from the surrounding area, but the great majority of them are from Digby. Nice little collection there in a binder. Okay, I'll do a close-up first. This is The Spray. Now, the label reads, The Spray, built in 1892 by Captain Joshua Slocum, who of course is very famous in these parts. And I'm getting a lot of glare. I can't get in front of it. All those sails are carved wood. So they're not cloth, they're actually wood. It's really well done. It's got some beautiful, come on, focus for me, age in the paint, in the patina. It's been put into this more updated case, which is plexiglass. But I'm going to go around the back, give you this shot of the other side too, in case the lighting works out better. Just a really, really nice model. Now, I don't know, I can't say 100% whether Joshua Slocum made this or he made The Spray, is what that tag's trying to tell us. But either way, a fabulous model. And I'm just going to go down here and show you a couple of the Harold Cromwells. Again, great folk artist that was in this area. And those are all done with pen and ink on wood. Those are the two we have here. We have two other ones coming up. And then we have these great tie holders by Louis Jeremy. And I'll go up here so you can see down a bit. They're inside the showcase there. And they're for just putting your ties on. Another native local folk artist. I have a character back there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Let me see if I can do that. By Dick Steele, an American folk artist. And we have the, oh boy, come on, don't go so dark. This is an oliphant horn. That's what they're called, and it's all carved out of a elephant ivory. Good dark color on that one too. They were basically like a little hunting horn, I guess. And potlatch spoon, Northwest Coast native again, from the same collection as our that little beaded bag. As in, oh, I'm getting in the reflection. That's what's happening. Okay, here we go. Nice early hunting knife with a horn handle, some bullet molds, shot pouch, early pinfire pistol, and we've got some cartridge boxes there, early ones. Nice crooked knife down there as well. Sorry, it's very hard to photograph through a glass showcase, but just to give you an idea of what we have. And up top here we have a nifty little, come on, focus, match safe guy. And you put your spent matches in there, and your striker would be on there, just a tabletop one, and your unspent matches, the new ones, would be back in there. And I kind of think he had something in his mouth, a pipe or a cigar, but I think if that was through, then any smoke from a spent match would come right out as his little stub of a cigar there, which would be kind of neat. He's a spelter with like a copper coloring on him. And this piece, Canada, 1939. Sorry, I'm looking at it and not the screen here. West Nova Scotia Regiment. All hand painted, nicely made. like a spill vase. It's all out of oak too, so not the easiest thing to work. But that painted crest, which it's not focusing on, is it? No, it's too light. Still won't help me out. It's really detailed, beautifully done. Better to see online, I guess. Over here we have some really big artwork, and all signed by the artist. Beautiful watercolor there, and a great big watercolor there. I believe both of these are marked as pickup only simply because of the size of them, because that's my big cupboard, and you can see that's quite a large piece. And this artist was, oh, I get down here, Sheila Lewis, I believe. Sheila Lewis, sorry. And there's the smaller version there, which we can ship. But you can see the same look. Watercolor artist. A really neat folk art painting here. Just got a great look. I'll ship down below. And up above it we have a Where Men's Fit You Clothes, sold at Gordon Eisner's stores, Halifax and Truro. And that's a tin, painted tin, and just put into a frame. Great piece. We've had a couple of those over the years. And there's a nice game refuge, hunting and trapping prohibited sign. Minister of Lands and Mines. And that's on plywood. And two etchings by Edwin Forbes. These are Civil War period, 1878 actually. They were done, but of Civil War soldiers, so I should say that. But early and large etchings. I'm going to get in the picture in a minute here just to give you an idea of how large these are. And they're clean and they're in excellent condition. Copyrighted 1876, actually, it says here, by Edwin Forbes. And two really nice hand-carved little barrels here. Another neat folk art pieces. That one, 1943 by J.R.P. And this one as well, really well done. A little oblong, but even the little nails to hold the handles are done in the carving really well. J.R.P. again. And a couple of Lunenburg oxen teams. One is a lamp. And these are the heavier ones down here below. I'm just going to walk through here so you have an idea of how big these things are. Nifty little arrow here with a hide painting of redcoats and natives. Little feathers on there. Neat piece. And we're going to move over to that section. Have a look at the back wall here. Another Northwest Coast native paddle. Really well done. We have a hop, violin and bow. A grouping of etchings. Again, better to see online. And I am going to cast a shadow here, aren't I? Let's see. Interesting watercolor by Sarka. Well-listed artist, you can look them up. It's got sort of a sorceress on a catamaran, and she's sort of casting spells over to bless the fishing or the outing. Really neat piece. Some early silver gelatin photographs by American artists in the Maryland area, as I remember. Another Northwest Coast native mask here with the rabbit fur. And it did have more of these spiky things in the top of the mask. A lot of them were missing. This one was broken, but we did find it. A beautiful Glasgow lantern clock. This thing ran all week long without a hitch. We rarely see these anymore. Really nice early lantern clock. Early etching. Lithograph, and that is the Shannon. So engraved by Duncan. Nice clipper ship. Really nice early lithograph. Now this one, this large one up here, is actually an aquatint, so You're looking at around the 1835 period. There is some foxing and darkening. Obviously, the matte is not an acid matte that one's in, so might be an idea to change that. But just a really busy early merchantman scene in the Orient. So fabulous piece, 1835, quite early. Down here, beautiful powder horn. Look at the color on that. It's absolutely gorgeous. But the jewel of it is the chip carved cap there. And if I bring it forward, I doubt the camera's going to focus on it for you. But there's good detailed photographs online. Really neat piece. This fabulous Tig. These were often used like as for trophies too, but originally this was more of a community drinking vessel, and they would pass it to the next guy and he would have a drink. That's why they're always such a big size. Later they did use these for trophies, but there's no markings on this as a trophy. So, and these are antler. Just a really neat silver plate. Early Tig there. And this is the coolest fishing net I've ever had in here. It's got just a little cracking there where the bent wood is drying out a bit, but the netting is good. It's got these beautiful bone decorations. I like the way they've done that down there. Really neat. Lots of age to it, lots of character for a wall display. I mean, that's just a great piece. And this piece back here is the only one of these I've ever had. So I've never even seen one before, and it's called a ball scale. And it has these 3 iron balls down here of various sizes, and you put them in here in various variations there and get specific weights up to certain levels. But it's so interesting. At first you see all these holes and you think something's missing, but there's 3 spots here for the balls below, so it's absolutely complete. This looks like something, you know, that you could easily pour out of after you measure it. And this, of course, turns, so you can have this in any orientation that you want. And you can put it on that way if you desire, you know. But I've never seen a ball scale before. Really neat piece. We have the maker and everything listed online for you. What else can I show you over here? Again, some Don Edwards silver gelatin prints. I don't know if the camera's going up that high or not. I'll show you this wall here in a minute. Early sailing prints, etching here. We've got the etching there. So good early sailing prints. A lot of these were found in the Maryland area. I'm going to show you this table in a second, which is a stunner. So let me just swing everything around. Again, just for scale, I'm just going to move this table out because you won't be able to see that anyway. All right, to give you an idea, an early hand-colored lithograph here, a nice diorama. I'm only going to kind of pick out the things I think you might be able to see in the screen right now. Very excited to have this, an original Molly Lamb Bowback. It's a watercolor. You know, I've had some serigraphs and that sort of thing. That's the first original by her that we've been lucky enough to have. Very happy to have that one. Great artwork. Nothing but high end in that one eventually. It's just going to go up and up and up. She's that well listed. Another good local Nova Scotia, John Cook. Might have some discoloring in this. It's a watercolor. Some of that might be a little bit of browning from the mattes, but all in all, a nice image. A great Wayne Boucher, and the colors in that are spectacular. So if you got more of a modern decor, something where you like abstract art, the coloring is just fantastic. I have a fairly large Clooney Mahar pencil drawing somewhere here in the valley. Nice, I hope that's showing up and not glaring on you. But a good size piece. And we have this one, which is an early one on canvas. It has a Dutch feel. I don't think this one had a signature. Oh yeah, it does. Leon. Some good color to that canvas. It's been around for a while. Old Zwickers gallery label there. And that one again, you can probably get a better view online. And here's, I don't know if you can see it, so I'm going to hold it up. One of the other Harold Cromwells. Now we did have this in an earlier sale, but it wasn't paid for, so it comes back in again. I think this sold originally the last sale somewhere in the 2,000, just above range. That one's for sale, and I think the other one's down there. I'll show you in a minute. Happy to have 4 Harold Cromwells. I think that's the first time we've had 4 in one sale. I'll take some of these off and show you. This one's a Jeff Butler. Again, beautiful colors. Full story on the back. But it's the one that got away, but it's showing a fish, and you can see inside all these little people, and they're all floating up to the sky. So it's reversed. We're not catching fish. The fish is catching us. Kind of a good comical one. I'll just set these down as I grab some others. And this is our other Wayne Boucher. Nice abstract work. Again, really colorful, nice. We've had quite a few over the years of Wayne Bouchers, and these two in particular I like better than any that we've had so far. Just the colors appeal to me more. And I'm going to just show you those from the camera, but I will show you this one. Small Joseph Purcell, another good East Coast artist. Watercolor there. Nice little piece there. Little write up on the back. Put him back. Now I'll just take it off and show you some closer up. Okay, so up above, well, I didn't show you this one. Nice folk art ship's diorama. The lighthouse there. And we got up there. I don't know if I can't see the screen, so American schooner. That one's on glass, but it is an old stone lithograph on there. And another really neat folky painting in oil. Nice, what is 5-masted ship there. Okay. There's the Molly Lambeau back again, that darn window. I really should just get some black curtains. The John Cook and the Wayne Boucher. Look at the colors in that. Fantastic. All right. Beautiful birch creel. Look at the workmanship in that. Really well done. Great piece. Excellent condition. It has a little miniature inside. But what I want to show you right now is this fantastic early folk art table. Stretcher base, diamond shaped on the top. Each join here has a little diamond raised up in the wood, so they would have had to shave all of this down and leave that proud, which makes little diamonds in the 4 corners. I'll just kind of try and tip it and show you. Now, if you followed our New Year's sale, we had some spectacular pieces in. Same house this came from as the Nantucket whales, the ivory whales, the Dieppe ivory ship that we sold earlier. This gentleman collected a lot of stuff in the Maryland area back in the 40s and 50s and brought it up here with him. Now this one is sort of a quadrifoil, and you can see how these have been carved away to leave the borders proud. And then they have these little swing out gate legs. See if I can do this without looking. I'm gonna come over and get you a closer view as well, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. Lots of beautiful old wear to the stretcher base. A lot of these swing out legs have been damaged over the years, so there's been a little bit of woodworm in there. There's been a couple of breaks that have been glued back together. You know, and some of the feet, the lower feet, have broken away over the years, and they've had a little plug put in just so it stands level. So it's got all its history. And what's interesting, and very hard to show in either a photograph or right here even, without getting in the way, is there's a section underneath, like for storage, little shelf underneath, which has these really interesting cutouts as well in the openings, but you can't
get at them unless the leaves are up. And then you can't see them unless you're down low and actually look in under the table. Really neat. Like, there's probably 150 years of dust inside that opening because you can't really get at it very well. But you could put things under there and reach under and get them, but very hard to show you in a photograph. And I'll see if I can tip this up so you can see the shape of the table once the leaves are up. But isn't that just a spectacular piece of folk art? Just a really superb piece. If it was Canadian, I know a lot of guys that would go absolutely crazy for this, and they still might, even though it's definitely an American piece. Who made this? I couldn't tell you. But whoever it was did a fantastic job and really spent some time on the smallest of details that make a ton of difference. They just elevated above just a standard table. It was a tour de force to make that. And to have all these pieces come together the way they have, just a fantastic thing. Very fragile, you know, with these being as narrow as they are. And this one's probably the worst one. It got the most woodworm and has a bit of glue there, which doesn't look very pretty, but the rest of them are much better than that one. Stretcher base, I mean, it's just an incredible piece. Just incredible. I want to see that go to a good home where that will be appreciated. It could be in a museum. I mean, it's that good. It's that unique. 40 years in the business, I've never come across a table like that. Never. And we're going to show you some more great stuff. See if this works for size, and then I'll give you a run by with the camera right after I'm done. A nice masthead lantern there, copper and brass. A couple of ship's wheels. That one's refinished. We've got a nice compass binnacle here. A whale ear bone, really neat piece. A couple of nice telescopes, one with a owner's name on there, a local fella. And this is really great. This little jug here with, this is sailors macrame work, so they would do that just to keep it from breaking. But it's neat because it still has the cod liver oil label on it as well. Great little jug, but just a great little sailor made macrame piece to go on there. These are really neat, these ship's wall sconces. Very heavy bronze and brass. And I believe they're working. One has a clear lens and one has a frosted lens, is the only difference, but a nice set there. A big ship's bell, big heavy brass, a little Perco ship's lantern that's wired up and works. This lamp is made from a telegraph, so you give the engine room orders from here. We've got a nice boxed sextant. Oh, and I'll show you this. I'll bring this up a little closer for you. Just another great folk art piece with some good age to it as well. 1912, November 1912. Just a really great carved wood, some metal banding on here. Yeah, really neat piece. Excuse me, dusty. All right, I'm gonna bring you closer to show you these artworks here. See if I can tip that over and just give you an idea. Lucy Hope Jarvis, Harold Cromwell, and Gajansky down below. I'll bring it. All right, here's the biggest Harold Cromwell in the sale, and probably, well, the biggest one we've had for a little while. And the subject matter is fabulous. It's actually called Beware the Bear. And you got two guys fishing here. Hard to even see them. And there's a bear coming in the background here. But you got a little squirrel over here. You got birds flying up there. A rooted up tree here. Just a really, really great piece by Harold Cromwell. All done with a black pen. And like I said, Lucy Hope Jarvis, Yarmouth artist. did this beautiful watercolor, and Gajansky did this one down here. Like, all these names are on there on the catalog, and you can look all these up, do a little research on your own. All really well-known listed artists. Oh, I forgot this one. I don't know if that's going to show you because of the light. 1796, I believe that is. I remember the date correctly. I know it's in the late 18th century anyway. Okay, a few of the smalls that we have in the sale. Oops, get that open. And we'll start back there actually. That's a rotary 9-carat solid gold wristwatch, vintage men's wristwatch with the velvet case, the original case as well, and in good running order. And we have here a Briel. I don't know if I can get that. I'll try and get my hand in there. Again, a nice men's vintage Briel chronograph. And it has interesting windows around the side for dates and months. And again, excellent working condition. And I can't remember if this one's working or not, but this is a rare little find. It's an early, say 1920s, but it's in sterling silver. A little man's tank wristwatch there. I believe that one's working. And we have some beautiful sterling silver key wind pocket watches here. Really nice condition, and I believe running as well. This one, is this the Longines, I think? Yes. Hunter case watch with the fob chain as well. But this is Longines pocket watch made for the Arabian market. So interesting. I don't know if I can get closer. No, I can't. And nice little scrimshaw piece. Again, you know, because of the ivory, we can't ship that outside the country. And down here we have a Lorenzen bowl. Bring that out for a closer look. A little pine cone bowl. And we have some more art glass. And there's a Val Saint Lambert with the etched girl on there. A couple interesting sunken plates. A big and interesting Nippon Moriage tankard there with camels on it. A Hunt's Diamond Ports advertising match safe. And this quite large, superb mid-century Royal Copenhagen vase. Some more beadwork down here. Various artists. And back there is the Canadian flag, which I won't bring out because it's silk, so it's really hard to deal with. But good pictures online, and that was from when Canada was searching for a new flag in the 60s, and that was one of the designs presented for their consideration. Here we have a beautiful big old German book in vellum. Nice early one. Can't remember the date off the top of my head. The Halifax Explosion, Catastrophe, Views of the Catastrophe, and back there is the History of the County in Annapolis, and that is a first edition, not a reprint, one of the first editions. And lastly, the 3 rifles that you do need a license for, and just a correction, I think I called that an Enfield down there. It's actually a Springfield. So just a correction on that one. We have another Springfield here, and it's really neat because it has a star carved in it, has these stud decorations on it, and it's had a hard life, lots of nicks and bangs. But because this one is a 45-70 caliber, that makes it a non-restricted here in Canada. We can't send it to the States. This is a kit gun, so a percussion cap, but because it's a kit gun, that's non-restricted, whereas if it was an original, it would be antique status. Go figure. And we have a beautiful Sharps rifle here. And again, caliber seems to be a 45-70 in this. So again, that's going to make it for only people with a license can buy that, unfortunately. But great early Sharps rifle in nice condition. A good collectible piece there. And that's it for all the firearms. Okay, folks, I think I've covered most of it. There's some fishing, tackle box stuff, some flies, that sort of thing.
And I might have missed the odd thing, but that gives you a pretty good idea, I hope. Like I say, there's lots of photographs, as we always put on all of our auctions. We try and give you as many views as we can. Detailed descriptions as best as we can, so gives you a little better ability. But I hope that this next to me, who I'm 6'3" and a half or so, gives you an idea of some of the sizes. Few things to note in this auction, and actually for most of our auctions, they end on a Thursday. You are quite welcome to pick up on Friday, Saturday, usually Monday and Tuesday as well, and this will be the case for this one. But we will be closing for a couple weeks in June, so we won't be able to have any pickups at that time. Now there is a chance of a postal strike, so in the situation that the post office goes on strike, which happens to be the day this auction is coming out, we're more than happy to hang on to things for you and ship them when the postal strike is over. For any of you that are in Nova Scotia, there's MBW, and we can ship them out with them. Anybody that's further away, if you want to arrange shipping through, Purolator or something like that, that's up to you. It's generally a lot more money. And there are some items, of course, that are marked pickup only, the grandfather clock, things like that, that are just too big to ship. But I think that just about covers it. But you're more than welcome to come pick up. We will be around for through the end of May and very beginning of June for pickups. So you just have to give us a call. We're generally available. We live on the site here, so that's not a problem. But we will be definitely closing for a couple weeks in June. I think it's probably the second and third week. And then we'll be back at it again. So any of you that have items that are like these that you see here, that's the kind of sales we're trying to put out these days. We think everybody likes the quality better than quantity. So instead of pushing one every month, we might go to one every month and a half or 2 months and just try to build you a better auction with more things like this. We thank our consigners. These are some fantastic items. It's a real pleasure for us to offer them up to you. And we thank you for watching these videos. I hope they help. And we certainly thank you for your patronage over all these years. And we're looking forward to another great year and another great time finding homes for all these treasures. Thanks very much for watching, and all the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.